Hello, welcome to our lesson on odds. So today I want you to be able to explain how odds work. Then I want you to be able to apply them and relate them to real-world applications. So odds, what they are is it's another way to express probability or the confidence we have in an event occurring. So we've been working with probability. So you've been doing P of A equals N of A over N of S. So we still have to work with probability. So I want to add that in. So when working with odds, we still must work with probability first. What I have found in the past is that students, you think it's two different things. It's actually odds and probability are the exact same thing. It's just another way that we can write it, just another format. Okay? So the notation, odds of event A, where we would, so we're looking at the odds of event A, we are looking at what is the probability of success compared to what is the probability of failure. So PA is probability of success. PA prime is the probability of failure. And that's what odds compare how many ways you can be successful compared to how many ways you can fail. So what we can write it as, we write it as, and this is the notation, PA to PA prime, whoops, PA prime, or you can list it as the number of ways you could be successful, so you don't have to use probability, compared to the number of ways you can fail. So that's your odds notation, or the form that we're looking at. And note that it's the exact same as probability. We're just taking the probability fraction and we're writing in a different format. Okay? So for example, see if I can make this make sense. So probability of roll of 3 on a one-sided dice, so a 6-sided dice. So I'm just gonna, what's the probability of rolling 3? Well, you already can tell me that it's 1/6. Okay? So how many ways can you be successful? So odds in favor. Odds in favor. All right. How many ways can we be successful? N of A. Well, there's only one way I can succeed at rolling a 3. All right. Which would mean there are 5 ways I could fail, because I could roll a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So it's number of ways to be successful. So this is your N of S, or N of A. This one is N of A prime. And remember, it's indirect method here. It's like saying 1 minus N of A. Or I guess I should say N of S, the total number of outcomes, minus N of A. Okay? So you're just converting that probability into a different format that just tells a person 1 way to be successful, 5 ways to fail. All right? And then we can also write it as odds against. And what that means is that we're simply looking at it from the negative perspective. There are 5 ways you can fail and only 1 way to be successful. All right? So we're just rewriting this notation in this format. Okay? So it's just taking a probability and rewriting it. So let's see if I can do a couple of examples to help clarify. So the probability of a severe snowstorm for Windsor in January is 0.4 or 40%. I want to determine, in A part, the odds in favor of Windsor having a severe snowstorm in January. So the probability of a snowstorm, SS, is 40%, which is the same as 40 over 100, or 4/10, which reduces down to 2/5. So you can use any one of those fractions. So the odds in favor of Windsor having a severe snowstorm. Well, there is 2 ways they can be successful. All right, and 3 ways they can fail. So that's the answer. Remember that our fraction here is in the form number of successes over total number of outcomes. So we want n of a prime for the second number of the ways you can fail. You'll notice that these two numbers always add up to your denominator with the probability, the original probability. Okay? So for part B, whoops, what are the odds against Windsor having a severe snowstorm? It's the number of ways they can fail, which means they have nice weather, to the number of ways they can succeed. So it'd be 3 to 2. All right, and you do your appropriate therefore statements with those questions. So you can see all we're doing is we're manipulating, we're changing a probability into a different form. So the last example I have here, the odds in favor of Raul hitting a home run is 2 to 7. So that means that, let's translate this just to make sure everyone's clear on this. So for every 9 at-bats, so 9, that's 2 plus 7 at-bats, he will hit 2 home runs, but so gotta look at my English skills here. So for every 9, so the 2 plus 7 at bats, so for every 9 at bats, it's going to hit 2 home runs, but will not hit a home run 7 times. All right, so he's only going to be successful 2, and he's going to fail the other 7 times. So all I did, I just translated what that meant. So what is the probability of Raul hitting a home run? Well, probability of a home run would equal the number of ways you can be successful over the total number of outcomes. So he can be successful 2 ways. The N of S is a total of 9 at-bats. So the probability that he hits a home run is 2/9. Okay? So we're just converting one form to the other. If you have to do any manipulation, okay, so I'm going to put an extra clause here. Maybe I'll do it down below. Okay. If you need to add / multiply odds, you must convert to probability first, then return to odds in the end. All right, so if we're talking about an independent event, oops, brain can't do 2 things in the end. Okay, so if we're talking about what's the probability, sorry, what are the odds in favor of drawing a jack and then a heart, you would have to work in probability. You would have to do the probability of drawing a jack or probability of drawing a heart, so you'd add the probabilities together, then you would go to odds. Okay, so you always have to do any calculations must be done in probability, then you convert to odds in the end. Okay, very important, and you're going to see that in some of the homework questions assigned here. Any manipulation, you got to work in probability. And there's questions here that you work in probability, and then your final answer is just to convert it to odds. Okay, so odds is just a different form for probability. All right? If you have any questions, make sure you ask them tomorrow, and I can clarify or give you some more examples. Good luck with the homework.